Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. And today you have landed on one of my Way Out Wednesday videos. The acronym is WOW. So thanks for joining me. I have a series of these videos that I create every Wednesday, that I drop a video every Wednesday, and I talk about lots of interesting topics like past lives, soul contracts, portals, ghosts, you name it, I've covered it. So if you're interested in this kind of content and you're not subscribed, you might want to subscribe, and you might want to hit the little bell notification, because for one thing, you'll know when it's Wednesday, because I'll be here with another video that you may find interesting. Now, today I asked my spirit guides, what do we want to talk about? What do you want me to tell my Way Out Wednesday viewers? What topic might they find interesting? And surprising to me, well, it's always surprising to me because I never know what they're going to say. They said dragons. Now, look, this is a Way Out Wednesday video, so buckle up, buttercup. It's about to get real crazy up in here. So listen, if you believe that we have angels, if you believe that you're guided, if you believe that there's a higher power, if you believe in Sasquatch, if you believe in aliens, then it's just a hop, skip, and a little fire-breathing, snout air to believe in dragons. It's not that different from all of these other things. Fairies, sprites, trolls, all of these things, Sasquatch, are all extraterrestrial or multidimensional energies. Okay, if you believe that we're not the only ones here, that humans are not the only ones that inhabit this time-space continuum, then you can make a little room for dragons, I bet. So here's the thing about dragons. Now, I'm channeling this. I'm about 60% spirit guides, 40% Susan. And I'm basically just going to translate what they're telling me, but they are going to have me start off by talking about my experience with dragons, because it's relatable. They like the idea of humans talking about human experiences because I'm talking to humans. And so therefore, it's much more relatable than for you to hear them talk about their experience with dragons, but I will do both. So my experience with dragons was, first of all, when I was a kid, I was really fascinated by dragons, right? Puff the Magic Dragon was a big thing when I was growing up. I had an affinity for dragons for whatever reason. Fast forward, I wasn't or am not the kind of adult that's into Renaissance fairs or into dragons in that way, but I would say that they've popped up in my awareness throughout my adult life, meaning that I don't really decorate with dragons or anything like that, but on very rare occasions, as in once or twice in 20 years, I might buy something with a dragon motif. Maybe it's something for my kitchen or some little knick-knack thing. Again, it's like I never was able to fully let go of this fascination and interest in dragons, even though I really didn't actively seek it out or actively try to have it be something in my life. It's just that it would pop in. Now, where dragons come into my ascension process really is when I was having my awakening, and I've done videos on this, but when I was having my awakening. Now, you guys have probably heard me say, we go through many awakenings, you guys. We come to our little baby body in this incarnation with amnesia for the most part. And if we don't, we quickly lose any connection or most of our connections to the other side as we get to be school age. Now, this is changing a little bit with kids these days, but for anybody over 30, this is more than likely what happened for you. Now, so you can have an awakening again in your teens. You can have another awakening in your 20s, your 30s, your 50s, your 70s. It doesn't matter. My point is that an awakening is not a beginning and an end. It sometimes can be a continuance. You can start it at one age and then literally dive right into it be very involved in everything metaphysical or everything, whatever it is you're interested in, and then within some period of time, lose interest or be forced to put it on the back burner, at which point you lose interest. So it can sit sort of to the side for decades and then come back into your consciousness again, even stronger. So awakening is really like a spiral. You're likely to catch it again and again and again. So for me, my biggest awakening, my last awakening, is when, you know, when you're having an awakening, everything is popping. All your psychic abilities are popping. You're seeing things out of the corner eye. You might be hearing your voice card. You might be having a premonition, a dream. You might be having knowings that you can't explain, smells, taste, all kinds. I mean, any number of things can be happening to you. And when you have a big awakening, it's like it's happening all at once. It's like, whoa, this is too much. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to, that kind of thing. So one of the things that happened to me was that I had an experience with a dragon. So how this happened was I was having sort of what you might call waking astral travel or waking dreams, where I'm not asleep. Sometimes I was in a meditation, other times I was not, and I was resting. Let's say you're resting before you go to sleep, but you're awake. Well, I had these visions. All of a sudden, there was a vision. For me, I'm clairvoyant, which means I see things or I see in my mind's eye, but you may feel, you may have a knowing about it. So there's lots of ways that you can get the same information I got differently. We're not all the same people. We're all very different people. So allow your information and your psychic abilities to be whatever they are for you, instead of making you be something else. So for me, this dragon appeared, and dragons, in my experience, they're friendly, but not really friendly. It's almost like, look, human, I'm here to do some business with you. Don't try to talk to me. I'm not going to be chummy with you. I'm not your spirit guide. I'm not your unicorn. You're not going to ride me around. I've got business to do. That's kind of the energy they have, is very serious. They're a very ancient energy. They do work with humans, and they are assigned to work with humans. For them, it's work. For them, it is a job. They take it very seriously. This isn't about palling around. I'm not saying that yours can't be like that, but I think that by and large, the majority of them are pretty serious. Now, so for me, what was happening was I saw this dragon in my mind's eye, and it was, and when you see things in your mind's eye, the scale is completely off. So like a whole huge dragon can be laying right next to you in bed, and somehow that works. Somehow that just works. It does not work in reality, but we're not talking about reality here. We're talking about a different time-space continuum than human reality. Just like if you're astral traveling, you're not in human time-space continuum reality. You're in a different reality. Okay. Sometimes when we sleep, we go to a different reality. So here's this dragon curled up on my bed next to me. And I then noticed that there was an egg. There was an egg, that the dragon had an egg, and he had his, or she, and I don't know what it was, whether it was male or female, or if it even matters, but she had her claws, legs and claws kind of nestling this egg. It's a pretty big egg. And somehow I knew that this dragon had brought this egg to me, that this egg was important. Also, I knew that this egg also represented my birthing of my spiritual abilities. So it's like I'm birthing something metaphysical, and this dragon brought an egg, a dragon egg, to also be birthed at the same time. Now, I don't know why this happened like this. I could probably ask them and go into a little bit more detail, and perhaps I will in a minute. But I would just say that this went on for months. months. This dragon was like not wanting to small talk, did not answer my questions about where are you from, who are you, what's your name, no, not interested in making friends with you, human. I've got an egg here, I've got a job to do. Now, I will also say that the dragon offered me some sort of protection as well as the egg. We were all in the protective energy of this dragon. So as the months, and I mean months, went by, and I went through many different kinds of ascension, an ascension can, all of a sudden you have one clair, which is your psychic ability. You can hear things, and then that goes away, and all of a sudden you're seeing things, and then that goes away, and then all of a sudden you're feeling things. So it's almost like somebody's over there flipping all the switches going, yep, that one works. Okay, wait, yep, that one works. Like that, testing all of your psychic abilities. So through a period of a year, or sometimes even longer, you can have a very different psychic abilities express themselves and then sort of become less known. They don't really disappear, but they become less in your awareness. Let's put it that way. Okay. So as this egg got closer and closer to hatching, and you can better believe that every day I was checking on this egg, I would just go into a meditation, into like a calm myself down. You can listen to a guided meditation to get yourself in the zone, in the Zen out zone. And then once you're in the Zen out zone, and you've got to find the right one, because not all of them are going to work for you. Don't tell me they don't work for me. It means that you didn't kiss enough frogs to make a prince or a princess, right? You've got to find the one with the right music and the right voice and the right words and the right length and all these things. But once you find one that works, you will be zenned out. I promise you. You will literally be sort of that kind of meditative, punch drunk kind of energy. And then what I would suggest you do is when they say, now it's time to come back to your body, it's time to wiggle your toes, don't. Just stay there in that space. So use the guided meditation to get you into this zenned out space. And then don't come back when they suggest, just stay there. From that place of zenned out bliss or offline, then you can ask your own spirit guide questions, and you can tap into your own subconscious, okay? So that's what I would do. I would just tap in and see how this egg was doing. So then I realized the egg was starting to open. It was starting, some cracks were starting to show in the egg. And when the egg, and that took a long time. I would say that actually took at least a month, at least a whole month. That's 30 days of me checking this egg, right? And wondering what is going on. Why is this dragon here if it doesn't really want to be my friend and give me rides and do all those cool things that I thought dragons were here to do for humans? Well, was I surprised? So when the little rascal finally came out of the egg, it was, it was small. So, but it was fully formed dragon, and it came out, and it was green, and it just sort of crawled around. It didn't do much. It kind of crawled around. Now, during the time that there were some times during the incubation of the egg and this kind of thing, that the dragon was gone, like not very long, but sometimes the dragon did leave and come back. I mean, aggregate in human time, this might have been an hour, right? Or 20 minutes even. It wasn't a very long time, but I did know that sometimes the dragon had to leave and had to come back. So now I have this little rascal dragon that's crawling all around and getting into things. And that little dragon actually really imprinted with me. So it actually became very friendly and frisky and playful with me. Okay. So I thought, well, this is great, and Mama Daddy Dragon didn't care. It didn't bother the dragon whatsoever, that me and the little dragon were talking or you know, whatever. And sure enough, after a period of time, it's time for both of them to fly off. And I thought, what in the world was all this for? Why did this happen? Well, they flew off, but the little dragon came back to visit me. The little dragon would come back to visit me pretty often. Like I would say once every couple of weeks, the dragon would come back and make an appearance, either in a dream, or I would have a knowing, or I would see it in my mind's eye. And every time I would see it, it would be a little bit bigger. It would be like a adolescent dragon, and it would be a little bit bigger. And this dragon ended up doing some things with me. There were a few times when it did take me for rides. It did pick me up and take me and show me things. Dragons, as we said, are ancient energies. Now, this baby dragon had access to these ancient energies, these ancient lands, these ancient, I mean, lands is such a human thing to say, right? It just doesn't compute. But ancient realms, let's call them realms. And with this dragon, I could visit these ancient realms and I could learn things and know things. It's almost like they're showing me, it's almost like a living version of the Akashic records. So instead of like having the books of the Akashic records on all the walls of your library, you're riding the dragon as if the pages came alive, and you're going back in time to the land of dinosaurs, or you're going to other realms. And there was a period of time where me and this dragon were fast friends, and he took me everywhere, took me different places. There were a few times when the dragon came in to assist me, because again, I can astral travel. When you astral travel, you're still a human. Your soul is not human, but your body is very much human. And so when your soul goes out traipsing around the universe, well, sometimes because we're still connected to our human body, we're at a little bit more risk of coming across entities or energies that may want to dupe us, or may want to trick us, or something like that. So whenever I was out and about, sometimes the dragon would swoop in and help me out of a situation, which I really appreciated. So now you can see that for me, dragons, this baby dragon was born at the same time that I was being born anew myself. And this energy of mine was attracted to and attached to dragons. The way some people's energies are really deeply attached to fairy or fae energy. Or some people's energies are deeply attached to different types of space being energies, or even Sasquatch energy, right? How do you know if your energy is attached to a certain thing? You have an interest in it. You have an interest in it. If you think Sasquatch is kind of cool, but it's cool, then that's not an interest. If you watch a lot of things about Sasquatch, if you watch a lot of documentaries or movies or shows about Sasquatch, if you think about a Sasquatch every once in a while, if you live in an area with Sasquatch reported sightings, then that's an interest. You have a connection to that energy, a good connection. If you're very, very, very interested in a specific type of space being, like the Anunnaki, or any kind of space being at all, then you have a connection to that. Okay, so if you have a connection to dragons, just a real fondness for dragons, and you like the imagery, maybe you have a t-shirt with a dragon on it, maybe you have artwork with dragons on it, maybe you love the books when you were kids that were centered around dragons, that means you are connected to dragon energy, and that means you can work with dragon energy. Same thing with fae, fairies, all those types of things. Okay, so the dragons are not earthbound. They don't really spend a lot of time on Earth. They come here because they're assigned. Again, even back in the history, and I know that this is fantasy or fantastical, but even back in the lore of the kings, the knights and the dragons and those types of things, right? They were assigned. So they don't really live here. They do not live here. So what they're telling me is we do not live there. We come here for a task because we're assigned. We're assigned certain humans. We're assigned, actually what they said is we're assigned certain humans, and we come to work with them. We come to help them. We come to do our job, and then we're off. We have our own land, is what they're saying. We have our own realm. Realm is the only thing I can think of to describe this, and that realm is in a certain dimension. And so these things can time travel. They can pop into our time-space continuum and back out. Now, the difference between that and, say, Sasquatch is Sasquatch, the Sasquatch that I've spoken with live here. They live on the earth, but they can pop in and out. So that means they can pop in and then pop back out. And how that looks is you see one, and then 50 yards later, you see it again. And you have no idea how it traveled that distance because there were no, trees, or you had clear line of sight the whole way, right? So they're using sort of portals, or this sort of time hopping where they just hop right there. Same thing with dragons, except for, again, dragons don't choose to live here on Earth. So dragon energy is usually, what they're telling me is it's magical, it's metaphysical, it's magical. They're working with humans that match that vibration. So again, they would say there's vibration, there's dragon vibration energy, there's fae or fairy energy that's a vibration, there's Sasquatch that's a certain vibration. And none of this is judgmental, none of this is good or bad. It's simply what your vibration matches. Yes, you can match multiple ones of these. You could theoretically be able to match dragon, fairy, and Sasquatch. However, they wouldn't be the same amount. There would be, usually it's tilted towards one specific, that you have primary, what they might call primary energy, and then the others would be secondary energy. As humans ascend, as our energy structures, meaning our bodies and our energy structure within our body, gets upgraded, which we are all being upgraded, we'll be able to do more of this. We'll be able to connect, vibrationally connect with more entities. There are many more entities that we don't even talk about, that humans don't really have in our lore, or have in our books or our movies or our imaginations. So as we ascend, we're going to be able to connect with more and more of these types of energies. And it won't be so much so that your primary connection is dragons or Sasquatch or Yeti or whatever. It's that now my intention is I'm going to connect with Sasquatch. Now my intention is I want to connect with the fae, with the fairies. Now my connection is I want to connect to an ET, a specific type of space being, or dragon. I really want to work with the dragons. What's interesting is dragons are different in the sense that Sasquatch doesn't, what they're showing me is they don't, whereas yes, they can be your tour guide to the other realms, but they don't typically do that. They typically work with people who are very connected to the earth, because Sasquatch is very connected to our earth, even though they're sort of an ET being. They're very connected. They feel very in tune and primally connected to the earth. So if you're very connected to the earth, they would like to work with you. How do they work with you? Well, they might leave you a stone or a shell. They may move something so that you know that happened. They may warn you about things. They may leave you little what they consider gifts, which are generally usually nature things. They can protect you even as well. But they're very earth-oriented, not earthbound, but earth-oriented. Now, switch over to dragons. Dragons are all about leaving the realm. They don't stay here. If you're going to work with dragon energy, you're going to be leaving the realm. You're going to be realm hopping with a dragon. You know, you can ride them. They will take you. If this is their job, if they're assigned to you or they agree to work with you, then you can climb on the back and take off for parts unknown. So this is also a nice way to do astral traveling. Ask for dragon energy to come in and work with you. And again, they're just showing me this. It might be that you want to buy a little dragon figurine or have some sort of dragon representation. Perhaps you have an altar, or perhaps you just have a place where you keep some crystals, or you keep things you find in nature, whatever it is that's special to you. You may find something that represents dragon energy to you, place that there. I don't know why, but it's important. It's almost like a key to unlock it. It doesn't mean you can't do it without having this sort of talisman, but it's easier if you do have a talisman. I don't know why. This is what they're telling me. So you get your talisman, you have your intention that you want to start working with dragon energy. Perhaps you go and you find a YouTube meditation where you can ride the dragon or attract dragon energy to you. And then you develop a connection with this dragon. And you can take that as long as you want. And these things are for you. They understand that humans have many seasons, sort of like our seasons of the environment, summer, spring, fall, winter. They understand that humans have seasons in their lives. And they understand that working with dragon energy might be a season. It might be something that you do for a month or 3 months or a year, or even a few days. And then you may decide that that was good. You're complete. You don't need to work with dragon energy anymore. And you may go on to work with something else. And that is perfectly fine. They understand that humans are on this sort of changing route where your interest, what you need in your life, is likely going to change. So, but as you're using dragon energy, you can ask them, if you get permission, if you get the dragon to work with you, you can ask the dragon to take you on a trip to show you some things that you would like to see. Perhaps you would like to have the dragon escort you into your Akashic records. Perhaps you would like to have the dragon escort you to a different land. Perhaps you would like to even see where dragons live and how they live. Always ask for permission. We never want to tell any entity, you're going to do this. That's very ego-driven, doesn't work very well. If you ask with gratitude, may it be so, I would like to see XYZ, whatever that is. Or I would like to just experience riding and flying with you. If that would be something that you would be agreeable to, I would be grateful to you for that experience. So now you've asked in a very gentle way. And if they say no, it's not that you're not, it doesn't mean, and this is something interesting about dragon energy too, which I alluded to before, but when they say no, or even your spirit guides or say no, it doesn't mean no forever. And it doesn't mean no because you're not worthy. And it doesn't mean no because you're not ready or whatever. Energy is very important. And your energy might not be at the right vibration for any number of reasons. It could be that they know that you're about to be interrupted. but you don't know that. You think you have the next hour to yourself, but they know that in 20 minutes, you're going to have a big interruption. So be gentle when they say no. Be gentle and understanding. Because sometimes this is also a test, they're telling me, that to see if humans are in their ego. If you get the answer no, then say, thank you. Thank you for considering my request. And should this be something that I'm in alignment with in the future, please know that I would be grateful to have this experience with you. Be grateful that you got an answer. Be grateful that you had the dragon show up to even give you the answer. And then know that if this is for you, it will happen. It may happen in a completely different way. A different dragon might show up. It could be that this dragon came to see what you wanted. and now that they have your request, they're going to take it back and fit you. They're telling me they're literally like when they choose the horse that you should ride when you go on a trail ride, they say this horse is a good fit for this person. This is the same thing with dragon energy. They're going to go back and find the dragon for you. Now, dragons aren't just, again, they're not here for play. So even if the dragon disappears and then a new dragon shows up, and the dragon that shows up is pink and has, beautiful multicolor butterfly looking wings, and it looks like this is going to be just all the fun in the world, which I'm sure it will be. Believe me when I say there's always a lesson. They're always trying to teach us something. There's nothing is left. There's no opportunity lost when any higher vibration entity, including our pets, whenever a higher vibration energy is working with a human, there's always a game afoot. There's always something they're trying to teach us or expand us or get us to expand ourselves. So when that dragon shows up and you can start doing whatever you want to do, you want to fly with the dragon, fly with the dragon. You want to have a conversation with the dragon, have a conversation with the dragon. Always do so, again, through a sense of respect. Again, if we ask too many questions, we are starting to get into our ego. And that doesn't match. Our ego does not match magic. Magic is not our thinking brain. Magic is our subconscious. So people say, I think I'm making this stuff up. You are making it up because these types of energy communicates to our subconscious, not to our thinking brain. This is non-physical energy. So you could also say something like, I would imagine, or if I could imagine what my dragon looks like, I would imagine it to look like X. When you say imagine, your thinking brain goes over in the corner and sits down and opens up its own phone and looks at it. It's not, it's like, she's not talking to me. She's had nothing to do with me. She's imagining, so I'm going to go over there. It is true. You're making it up, but it's real. It's absolutely real. Just like if you were to connect with a crossed over loved one of your best friend, it's not that person in heaven or on the other side is not going to come to you through your thinking mind. If you use your thinking mind, you're going to be 100% wrong, 100%. But if you say, I would imagine that your grandmother liked to make snickerdoodles. Well, you don't know why you said that. Why did I say that? I don't know. Where did snickerdoodles? Just right now, I promise you, somebody's grandmother made snickerdoodles because that just came to me. Did I make it up? Well, it came out of nowhere. It didn't come from my thinking mind. But if I were to make it up, quote unquote, it would take me a lot longer. I would have to think. Back to thinking. I'd have to think, what would grandma make? My grandma made like cookies. I mean, I think snickerdoodles are cookies, but she didn't make anything that elaborate, whatever a snickerdoodle is. She just made cookies, plain, oatmeal cookies or chocolate chip cookies. So it's not, so if I was going to make it up, I would use that. I would use something from my own experience. I don't even know what a Snickerdoodle is. Therefore, it didn't come from me, right? So yes, you can say right now, I would imagine that my dragon looks like this. It's big, it's small, it's funny, it's serious, it is fat, it's muscular, or plump, or fluffy, or something like that, or muscular. It's visited me before, yes or no? You know, these are questions you ask yourself, and then you answer them the very first thing that comes to your mind. This is how you do it, folks. This is how you do it. You just answer the questions I asked you, and you answer them the very first thing that comes to your mind. And you can do the same thing with spirit guides. I've done this with you guys before. My spirit guide is tall, short, female, male, has hair, doesn't have hair, is wearing clothes, is not wearing clothes, is human, is not human, is a ball of light, is somebody that looks alien. You just ask yourself these questions fast, 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 rapid fire, so that you can't have a chance to think about the answer. Because once you think about the answer, you're thinking. And if you're thinking, you're wrong. So this is how you can tap into your dragon energy. Is there a dragon that wants to work with me right now? Yes or no? You can just write it down. If not, if the answer is yes, great. Can this dragon connect with me when I'm asleep tonight? Yes or no? If no, there's not a dragon right now ready to connect with me, can I connect with a dragon in the future? Yes or no? If you ask open-ended questions, it's very hard to get an answer. If you ask a yes-no question, it's very easy to get an answer. So we run into trouble when we say, will a dragon ever work with me on a regular basis? I mean, that is a yes or no question, but it's a complicated question because regular basis. Will a dragon work with me? Yes. Will a dragon work with me on a regular basis? To be determined. So if you don't get an answer, it generally means to be determined. So let's see if there's any other questions you guys have before I end the video about dragons. I've covered about why you would be interested in it, how you'd be interested in it, how they work with humans. They're basically non-physical energy, but they are physical in other realms. They do have scales. They do have claws. They do have this armored belly kind of thing. They do spit fire. There are some dragons that spit fire. There's other dragons that don't spit fire. There's dragons that are meant for, like, that are big, huge, strong, whether they're male or female, doesn't matter, but they're big, they're huge, they're like 747s, they're huge. And then there's other dragons that, for lack of a better description, because this is what they called them, is look like what's that? What's the flying elephant? Dumpy? What is the flying elephant? So they look like that. They're not like 747s. They're pudgy. They're fluffy. They're light. The energy is light. The energy is playful. So there's all different types of entities of these dragons. But when one shows up in your life that's serious, that means you've got a serious lesson. They're coming here to help you learn something, to learn to heal, or to learn to astral travel, or to time jump, or any of these things that they're kind of specialty with, right? Whereas Sasquatch is going to help you learn to mind the earth, to help you to take care of the earth. Even though they're interdimensional and they can disappear and reappear, they don't really spend much time in other dimensions. They only enter those other dimensions as they disappear and reappear. They're very much human sort of based in the sense that they live on Mother Earth, in Mother Earth. They get pregnant and have babies here on Mother Earth. They're very, very, very connected to Mother Earth. I did a video on Sasquatch. If you want to check out the main playlist, you can go click on the icon. That will take you to my main channel. You can look across the little banner there and you'll see playlist. You can click on that, click on WOW videos, and then you can see all the videos. There is a Sasquatch where I literally had a conversation with a Sasquatch. So, dragons are different. They're not of the earth. They don't spend a lot of time here. They pick us up and they take us on journeys. They're a sort of like a tour guide. And I don't think they like that word, but I'm going to use it anyway. A tour guide of other realms, other existences. They really don't like that term. Okay, my bad. They're not a tour guide. This is not fun. This is not fun and games. Okay, so I'm sorry. There's a very much a seriousness to this. This is not whereas you can find some dragons to take you on some fun rides or whatever. There's a seriousness about this species. They take this very, very serious. This is not a playful thing. This is a learning thing. So not to say that you can't have a little fun, but it's they're more like they're more like a different type of spirit guide. They're saying we're a different type of guide. We'll guide and coach you humans. We'll guide and coach humans. They will be working more. They're going, so right, as humans get our power, we talked about that, we get our power upgrade, our human body, our electric human body power upgrades. And as the veil thins between the worlds, they're going to be here. They're going to work more and more and more with the humans because we're going to need them. We're going to need dragons. There will be more, you'll see more emphasis on working with dragons. You'll see people offering classes. You'll see people offering meditations. You'll just see more and more dragon this, dragon that. In the next few years, you're going to really see people even offer accreditations in dragon magic, learning the different colors of the dragons, what those colors mean. There's different, there's just so much to learn about dragons, and we are going to be working with them more and more as the years progress. And with that, I'm going to end this video. I hope you found this interesting, fascinating, educational, anything at all. Anything at all would be good. If you're still watching at this point, either you fell asleep and you're waking up now to say, what the heck has Susan been talking about? Or you were, maybe you were interested, who knows? Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. I'm sending you much love and light. Let me know in the comments. Have you had dreams about dragons? Have you worked with dragon energy? Are you being drawn to work with dragon energy? Did you work with dragon energy many years ago, and now you're thinking that you would like to also work with them again? You guys, if you watch these WOW videos, read the comments. The comments are amazing. The people that watch these videos are tremendously talented and have tremendous experiences. And we all learn when we all share. So please share your experiences, support one another, cheer each other on this ascension journey that we're all on together. Support each other, and I'll see you again next Wednesday. Take really good care.